Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Big Poppa T-Mo, and we are back to play a No Man's Sky, doing my beginner's guide. And we are on our way back from the crash freighter. We're breaking atmosphere, and then we're trying to get to the space station we were just at in the last episode. You do get a lot of going back and forth in this. It all depends on what order you take your quests. Um, Apparently I had forgotten about the need for the hyperdrive. I have done this quest before. Um, I was just a little distraught by the sudden change of that S-class rifle multi-tool disappearing to a pistol last time, that I totally forgot that I have in fact done that quest, so nothing new for me there. Now we're going to go ahead and hit the brakes here and brake left. We got to go around to the other side of the station. Now, one of the other things that this is showing up is kind of buggy. We have scanned every planet here. This is the dead planet we looked at before, but since we haven't actually mapped it, after a while it just kind of forgets that we had seen that planet. It wasn't unknown. That was discovered by Timmourne. Big Poppa T-Mo found that puppy. Little quirky things. No big deal though. Didn't cost us anything, doesn't wreck anything, just hit the button on the scanner. Now we have a decent amount of cash in our pockets, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at our inventory real quick. We're going to shift some things around here while we're waiting for these ships to fly in. Nothing spectacular, we're just going to see what we've got and what we need. Now, it's been a while since we've updated our inventory slots. We could use another one, so we need to go to another station soon. But we have 23 chromatic metal, and we have one microprocessor. Ooh, there's a different skin for a hauler. That's a 39.6 A class. I like that a lot of these have been A classes. If I stick around this area long enough, I'm going to buy one of these. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and see what he has for sale, because we need some microprocessors. We needed 4 more of those. I'm going to spend 76,000 units just for that. And he does not have chromatic metal and does not have copper to process. The C class. Let's see what he has. Now, each one of these vendors will have a slightly different stock of items. So just because one doesn't have what you're looking for, doesn't mean another one won't. That's a cute little fighter. Not really my cup of tea. And we are missing the chromatic metals. But it's telling me to gather copper. Locate copper on the planets. We could do that. Or we could just check the trade terminals, because that's what it told us to do. Okay, so that does not have copper. It does not have chromatic metal. This is still offline. I keep clicking on it every time, just hoping. Locate large copper deposits. We need to make that chromatic metal. Need to hire a base scientist, and we need to go to an abandoned building. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back into our ship. And we are going to fly away home. Now, since we set up our base in such a fortuitous location, we can go ahead and fire off right towards our base. The abandoned building should be nearby, and we know that there's a copper deposit right next to our base, so we can do both of them in relatively short order. 10 seconds. Our base is a little bit off to the side. We're going to head to the abandoned structure first. We're going to rotate down for proper orientation. That way we don't smack into the ground. Now, this is an abandoned building, so it's not going to have that lovely landing pad, but it is going to have a save point. So we're going to land over here. There's a resource node right in front of us. I wonder if that's copper. Let's go ahead and check that one out real quick. It is a salt deposit. There's a mutant plant. Buried technology module, cargo pod nearby. I didn't unscan that cargo pod, so now it's going to auto tag them. Gets kind of annoying after a while. I'm gonna grab this damaged container. Gave us some Gek nips. A little faction for the Gek. There's our save point. Radiation protection full. You don't say. Let's go ahead over here and grab some sodium. I'm going to switch to the bolt caster and reload. That gives us 64. I'm going to go ahead and reload our mining laser as well. And we might as well drop some O2 in. Get everybody back up to par. Now, I had mentioned before that what we do want to do is grab all of those humming eggs. And I had mentioned that you want to make sure it's not a whispering egg. So I'm going to show you on the way out of here what the whispering eggs do. This is the abandoned building. Hey, something smacked us. That is this creepy plant in here. Now, we are inside of a building, so we can't actually draw our weapon, so don't stand there and get whacked the whole time. Come over to the terminal, wipe the residual goo off of there, and then let's go ahead and interact with the terminal. User identified, terminal active, accessing schematics. The place the overseer has led me to has long since fallen into disrepair. Its panels are buried beneath the same oily, pulsating fauna that I have seen before in long abandoned buildings. Air is fetid and damp. I power up the terminal with little hope of success, but to my surprise, it buzzes noisily and springs to life. Let's analyze some schematics. My overseer's intuition has served me well so far. I shall have to trust that these schematics contain the required data. Okay, we have searched the abandoned building for the data. Let's go ahead and click on that again. Terminal breach, security measures activated, user logged, data wiped. Terminal has not responded positively to my probing. I have the data I need, but there seems to be little hope of gathering any more information. Let's go ahead and test that. Remains unresponsive. Yeah, we're not getting anything else out of that guy. So we need to return to the overseer for that quest. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check out this damaged machinery. That requires 5 sodium nitrate, which I do not have any on me. Check stock transfer. We just got ourselves almost 1,100 units just for checking something on the wall. We're going to come into this other side of the building and get whacked by another piece of trash hanging from the ceiling. I'm going to go ahead and restore our shield. Oops, got whacked again. Free stuff on the floor. Sodium. And we're going to get whacked again walking out. Yep, there we go. Now that dropped our shield down a little bit, but that's really no big deal because nothing's really whacking us right now. But we're going to come out here, and I had given you the warning on whispering eggs. And here's a bunch of them on the ground. Now, you kind of have to see this to really get an appreciation for what happens here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we are on our mining beam, and I'm going to shoot one of these whispering eggs, and out pops a larval core, and that is worth some money. But these guys, these monstrosities, will pretty much mess up your day at this level. They are an apex predator. They are hyper aggressive, and they hurt, but they don't climb buildings. The Sentinel doesn't even like me killing them. These things are horrendous, and it's going to give me a load of crap for killing a monstrosity. Now, in the future, when you start talking to those quest givers, and one of the quests that they give you sometimes is to hunt predators. If you have trouble finding predatory creatures in the wild, you can always come here and spawn these guys by doing what I just did and shoot a couple of them and get your quest for killing predators. And they also count towards just the quest for killing generic animals. The swarm subsides and they bury themselves back down in the ground, and we are good to go. Once you see all those red paws go away, you are safe to get back on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to run over here for a moment. Let's see how far away that guy is. That is right there. So we're going to hit the terrain manipulator, and we're going to grab that technology module. Salvage tech, 1 point. And while we have our terrain manipulator out, we know that salt is worth some cash, but we're still on the big bubble. So what we're going to do is we're going to farm up some salt real quick. That way when we have to go back to the space station, we'll have a little bit to drop on stuff to get a little bit of cash. I'm working my way towards that 3.5 million, guys. I want that S-class rifle so bad, and I will get it. If I have to sell a No Man's Sky kidney, I'll do it. Actually, I know how to get the money relatively quickly, but that's not really a beginner's guide type of a thing. I will get into trading aspects in another video. Probably by the point we get to that, we'll pretty much be done with the beginner stuff. So we are out of fuel. Let's go ahead and recharge that. But in the meantime, some of the things we have to look forward to, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's another resource node on the ground right behind me. Notice that when we were walking up, I didn't notice it on the scan before, but it's copper. So all that copper we need to get for our quest to make the chromatic metal is right here. So we don't have to empty the node out right by our base, which is also convenient because it's really nice having one of those right next to your base. So if you ever need to make some quick chromatic metal, it's not all farmed out. These do not grow back. So once you harvest this all, it's gone. So having a copper one right next to base, like I said, is super, super convenient. So we're going to turn around, and there that is. It is. Ooh, that's uranium. Oh, I thought it was copper. But you know what? Uranium's convenient to have too. This way we're not digging up through the one right next to our base as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of this, and this is where we're going to sign off for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. If you like what you saw, please go down below and give me a thumbs up. Every one of them helps. And if you'd like to see future updates, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you'll get notified when I post updates. Just want to say thanks again for watching, and fly safe.